Everybody, Colin from the Bike Dads. Today we're going to be talking about the Spawn Banshee. Spawn was one of the first manufacturers in North America to tackle this market. Traditionally, we've only had the big box stores or the big branded bikes that they really didn't take time to design and manufacture quality bikes. Now there's a lot of alloy on this bike. There's aluminum bar, an aluminum stem, an aluminum seat post, alloy rims, alloy hubs, alloy cranks. This makes for an extremely lightweight build. Couple that with an alloy frame and a chromoly steel fork for a dampened ride, and you have a great bike. Now let's take a closer look at the drivetrain of the bike. It has those small alloy cranks, as we mentioned before, coupled with a 28-tooth chainring on the front and a 14-tooth on the rear. This makes for a great gearing ratio for those little guys to get up and down the hills with ease. All the bearings on the bike are sealed, so that includes the hubs and the bottom bracket. So if you're out in rainy conditions, you don't have to worry about water getting into the bearings and rusting them out. Now let's take a look at the brakes of the bike. They're Tektro V-brakes, and they are junior-sized levers, so a 4 or 5-year-old has no problem reaching the lever and pulling on it. Now I've chosen to take off the front brake, and that's just because we had a bad experience with an endo when my little guy was 3 years old. But I'll probably put it back on now that he's around 5, and he'll have no problem modulating the brake. And don't forget, the front brake actually gives more power for stopping. The tires on this bike are Schwalbe Blackjacks. They're 16-inch by 1.9-inch tires. And I believe on the newer version of the Spawn has actually manufactured their own tires. Now we at the Bike Dads are big on handbrakes. We don't like the traditional coaster brake. And this feature of the Spawn is phenomenal. It comes shipped with no coaster brake. You get a free wheel and 2 handbrakes like a bike should be. So this bike comes in at $350 US. And you might think that's expensive, but take into consideration when you go in and buy your own bike as an adult. You're paying much more than that for a quality bike. This is the type of bike a child should be riding. It's lightweight, it consists of quality components, and it's going to last a very long time. Spawn nailed the geometry on the Banshee. A confidence-inspiring 72-degree head angle is matched with a 71-degree C-tube angle and a bang-on bottom bracket height for easy, stable pedaling. The recommended age for the bike is between 4 and 5 years old, but a better measure would be any inseam between 16.5 and 21.5 inches. We have had kids as young as 3 and as old as 6 have a great time on the Banshee. If there are any gripes on the build, they're minor. A quick release seat post for the bike park would be nice, as would some lock-on grips. We found the mushroom grips to loosen off quite often, although they were protective of the hands in wall strikes and crashes. That said, both the seat collar and the grips are cheap, easy upgrades to make. And speaking of upgrades, the Spawn uses normal sizing in most parts, so making mods with additional parts laying around in the garage is possible if you've got some serious bike nerd in you. As we have discussed on our website, www.thebikedads.com, don't be too concerned about the resale value. From personal experience, we have sold a Spawn at 75% of its retail value after having it for 2 years. The build quality and parts on this bike ensure a bike that will last through multiple kids. Spawn also stocks some spare parts if you need an extra set of bars, cranks, grips, or something like that. There is some minor assembly that is required, but nothing a couple of wrenches and Allen keys can't handle. So there you have it. An amazing little bike for those who want their kids to have the best opportunity to develop skills and have fun on their bike. The Spawn Banshee is definitely one of our top picks for 16-inch bikes, and to be honest, is one of the top bike products we have seen in the last few years. Be sure to follow us at www.thebikedads.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the best in kids bikes.